For my ENME351 final project, I elected to design an automatic liquid hand soap dispenser. The liquid hand soap dispenser operates using this ultrasonic sensor. When this ultrasonic sensor detects someone's hand within range, it triggers the servo motor to rotate in the clockwise direction to a specified angle degree, and that specified angle degree would correspond to the degree that just depresses this liquid hand soap nozzle. So this will turn to the specified angle, and as it turns, it will put tension on this galvanized steel cable that's threaded through the servo motor through the top of the nozzle and then anchored at the other side. And when this is in tension, this rotational motion will cause lateral downward motion of the nozzle spout. So if I look at the Arduino code to see how this operates, in void loop, I've got three main functions that I'm calling. The first is get distance. Get distance sends a 10 microsecond trigger pulse to the ultrasonic sensor, which tells the sensor to start emit a sound wave and wait until it receives that sound wave. So this while loop makes sure that it waits the necessary amount of time until the echo picks up a signal, and then I start to measure the time that the signal is high, and that time that the signal is high divided by this constant coefficient gives me the centimeter distance from the ultrasonic sensor. After getting that distance, I call a function check distance, which check distance just sees if that distance is inside of my specified range. So if I look at check distance, I have some centimeter cutoff, and if it's less than that centimeter cutoff, I tell the servo to start actuating. And if I look in loop, I've got this if statement. If it's in range, if that check distance returned a 1, servo trigger, I have this variable I pass through servo trigger, which is the angle I want to rotate, in this case 180 degrees. And if I look at servo trigger takes in a servo angle, defines the pulse width modulation period for the servo, and sends two pulses high, two pulses low with a wait in between. The reason I did this is because I think the servo that I purchased measures the falling edge of the pulse. So I was having trouble with just sending one pulse, so I had to send two pulses each. But it sends two pulses with a pulse width modulation that corresponds to 180, and then two pulses with the pulse width modulation that corresponds to 0 to get it back to the neutral position after being depressed. Okay, so I put power to the Arduino, so now when I put my hand in front of the ultrasonic sensor, if it's below the height of the nozzle, so that's about 18 centimeters, if it's below that 18 centimeter limit, the ultrasonic sensor will tell the servo to rotate and depress the galvanized steel wire. So over here, nothing happens, but as I get just below that nozzle, we'll see that servo actuates, pumping the liquid. If we look at the processing window, we'll see this little clip art of the liquid hand soap that I made. In the top left-hand corner, it will display the distance in centimeters from the ultrasonic sensor that triggered the pumping, and we'll see this little pumping animation of the liquid hand soap with soap trickling down from the spout to the bottom of the page. So if I put my hand in front of the ultrasonic sensor, we'll see it flashed 5 centimeters up there, and it triggered a little pumping action, and soap is being dispensed. We'll see it trickle down to the bottom of the page. If I do it again, 9 centimeter distance, pumping, and soap trickling.